At the end of every day, look at yourself in the mirror and ask, did I get better today? Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better. If you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better will you be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the real question. And it all comes down to taking small steps. You don't have to accomplish everything in one day or even 1 week. Just focus on getting a little better every single day.
Welcome back to Real Estate AF, where the AF stands for And Finance. And today's episode is for anyone who's feeling pressure of the market, buyers, agents, and honestly, any human with a pulse. So my guest today is Vanessa, and she's one of the rare people who sit at the intersection of real estate, community, discipline, and authenticity, which is a fancy way of saying she doesn't move like the typical agent. For Vanessa, real estate isn't just numbers, negotiation. It's emotional. It's fear. It's timing. It's identity. And that moment when people go, wait a minute, I can actually do this? That's what we're going to be talking about. And it has to do with rates and headlines and hesitation and people making smart decisions. We're also going to get into how she built community beyond the sale, how she shows up in social media like a real human instead of walking billboard, and why her fitness discipline, running, all the things that she does, kind of translate into her business and everyday life. So whether you're trying to buy your first home or grow your business or just become the next version of yourself, you're going to get some value out of this. So without further ado, let me introduce Vanessa. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Mark.
Absolutely. And it's been a long time coming.
I know.
Truly.
It has.
So before we start, you mentioned something that I wanted to kind of touch on. You mentioned you had a podcast and it feels weird being on this side. Tell me about your podcast.
Oh my gosh. So me and two of my girlfriends, they're out on the East Coast.
Okay.
We met through an online coaching group during the pandemic.
Okay.
And our coach was like, it was four of us at first. You should do a podcast. And we were like, why us? I don't know. We were just like, okay, let's go with it.
Yeah.
So we had named it Deals and Heels.
Love it. Okay.
I
That's
know.
catchy.
Yeah, it was. But not all the girls were like wearing heels. So they were like, oh, we don't know if this is right. I'm like, well, let's just talk about real estate. And, and it was a lot though for four people. And then we weren't all together.
Yeah.
One was in Houston and the other two were on the East Coast, Boston and Philly.
Okay.
And so we were doing, on Zoom. And it was cool for a little while. And then we kind of figured out not everyone meshed together. One of the girls was like, this isn't for me. She left. Mm-hmm. And then it was three of us. And so we rebranded and we were More Than Real Estate. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So we had 4 pillars. We talked about business, wealth, family, and what was the last one? I can't remember. It's been a while.
Some good stuff, I guarantee.
It was good. We had interviewed some heavy hitters. We had interviewed like Ricky Carruth, Girls of Grit.
Oh, wow.
We were just, it was great. It was fun. We had a lot of fun doing it. And we did that for, I think, almost 3 years.
Wow. And what kind of put it to a close? Everybody kind of went their separate ways. It just got tough talking to the same people over and over.
I think it was tough not being in the same room.
That I will admit 100% is why I don't do virtual.
Yeah.
I did it a couple times on a different podcast that I had with a friend up in Idaho. It was fun, but you don't get this.
You can't feed off like the
1,000%. Yes. The energy going virtually is not the same as when you're in the same room. I not only hear you, but I feel you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was great. I learned so much. I had so much fun. Communication skills is huge.
Yeah.
Being able to interview someone is a skill. I loved it. I miss it a whole bunch, but I know that in due time, maybe I can get back to that.
On your own.
Yeah.
Bringing other people.
Yeah.
Maybe I can inspire you to do that.
I know.
Matter of fact, we just had someone last night start their first podcast in this studio. We took everything off the walls. It's like totally different podcast.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's so cool.
So we're here today to talk about you. And I want to start by allowing you to tell us who you are, the real you, the stuff behind the social media, where you came from and how you got into this business.
Ooh, okay. Well, born and raised, I'm a native of San Antonio. Grew up on the Northeast side. And then my parents, they owned a business and things didn't work out. We bankrupt out of that and the house. And we ended up moving in with my grandparents. And that was out in Lavaca, which is now known as Southtown.
Yeah.
And so I, pretty much grew up there, went to high school out that way, Brackenridge, King William area. And then, as I got older, I was basically started as a lifeguard. I was a lifeguard. And then I was like, I need to get a real job. And one of my girlfriends, she was a lifeguard with me. She was in multifamily. And she was like, you would be so great at leasing apartment homes. Like, come over here, interview, see if you like it. You'll make some money. You can get half off your apartment.
Very cool.
Okay. Like, okay. So I did that and got the job and switched out my flip-flops for high heels and did that for 10 years.
Really?
All of my 20s.
Holy cow. Okay.
And
all with the same company?
No, I moved all over. Yeah, I started off at like a Class B property, a lot of issues, crazy time in my life. I learned so much. I think I grew up really quick. And I used to talk about real estate too, like to friends, like, oh, I want to get my license one day. But I didn't know what I was talking about.
Sure.
I just knew like, maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I met some guy one day that he was leasing an apartment and he told me that he flipped houses and he did it all without a license. He was like, you don't need a license. I can teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't, ready for any of that. So anyways, did that for 10 years and then realized that I was climbing the ladder a little bit. I made it to assistant manager. I ended up getting into multifamily where we would pre-lease them. They were brand new and we would lease them up, sell them, and then go to the next one.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So I made
selling portfolios for people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It was great and worked myself up to assistant manager, but I could never get to manager. And I just realized that there's a ceiling here and I just didn't love the environment.
Yeah.
But what I did love was helping people find a home, even if it was an apartment.
Hidden gem, helping people get into a home, bettering their life, starting that foundation of potential wealth.
Yeah.
Now I want to stop for a moment and ask you something a little personal because you mentioned it. You were younger when your parents were going through the bankruptcy situation. In what ways, if any, has that kind of helped you in your everyday life or with your customers, things of that nature? And the reason why I'm pausing here is I believe that financial literacy, and this is becoming a trend on the podcast, should be taught sooner. Growing up, my parents were very transparent with the finances, with me and my brother. My wife, on the other hand, completely different. So at a certain point, it was like we sat down and educated on all the different things that go into it. But I want to know how that affected you growing up, thinking, acting, making your decisions.
Dude, I grew up kind of alone, honestly. Like after all of that happened, it was tough living in a little, it was a tiny house, my grandparents' house. They still own it. And we were living all in a room. My brother, my mom, and me all in one room. So me and my mom slept in the same bed. My brother slept on the floor. My dad was, they had divorced or they were going through the divorce and he was living with his parents. And so it was crazy, I guess, to see that we were kind of living like this different lifestyle. I didn't really understand it. And I was starting a new school too, and girls were really mean. And it was a weird time for me. My brother ended up going into the military. And he was like my best friend. So him leaving was tough. But yeah, I remember watching my parents go through all of that and just seeing a lot of things that, I would never want my son to see today.
Yeah.
But I think somehow it instilled in me some type of, grit or resilience or just wanting more out of life. But nobody was mentoring me. No one was showing me the way. They didn't even know the way. Love them to death.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But they didn't know what they were doing, and kind of where I think for real estate, that it wasn't something that I didn't say, I want to be a real estate agent now.
Right.
I mean, I just knew that I just wanted more for myself and I just didn't know where that was. And I really went down a lot of different paths to get there, a lot of trial and error.
Yeah. You and me both. Heck yeah.
I mean,
very relatable in that regard on the trying different things, knew that I wanted more, didn't know what to do or how to get there yet.
Yeah.
But I saw this and saw that. And it's like, let's try that. Let's try this
Yeah.
until something sticks.
Yeah. And you just don't know what you don't know. I know when I was working in the apartments and I had finally started thinking about getting my real estate license, one of my tenants said, "Hey, I work for David Weekley Homes. Have you ever thought about new home sales?" I'm like, "What's that?"
Mm.
And he was like, "Oh, I mean, it's like what you're doing, but like on a bigger
make
scale."
more money.
Yeah. And I was already getting my real estate license at the time. So I didn't realize that you couldn't have a license when you went into new home sales.
Oh,
I guess
didn't know
some
that.
builders were like, you have to deactivate it.
Okay.
And I was already on my way to obtaining it. And so when I interviewed and they were like, "You're hired," I was like, "But I don't want to deactivate my license." So I was like, "What do I do?"
Right.
I just did 10 years of apartment leasing. I could have been in new home sales,
The whole
but
time.
I didn't.
So what did you do?
I said, "No, I'm going to go all in on real estate."
Boom. What year was that?
So I got my license in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I came home and told my husband in February of 2019, I was like, "Put my 2 weeks in."
Ooh. And his reaction was?
What are we going to do about money?
Right.
We don't have a nest egg. And I was like, "Put it on the credit card." And he's
Right.
like, "You're crazy." My husband's an accountant, by the way.
Wow.
So he was like nervous.
Oh, I can only imagine that. And that's a big transition. But the fact that you decided to go all in. Now, what enabled you? What motivated you? What was the driver of you going all in? Because you could have continued to do a little of this, a little of that while you did real estate or what have you. What was it?
Dude, so I'll be honest. Years prior to that, I had stumbled upon personal development.
Okay.
Jim Rohn was my mentor.
Heck yeah. Okay.
I
Him
listened to
personally?
No.
Okay. I was like, no
His
way.
legacy.
How the hell?
That's
Awesome.
beautiful, right? Like
It's
that's
true.
the goal in life.
It's true.
like you're still influencing even after your past.
Absolutely,
Like it's just it's a beautiful thing. And I had learned about him and I would listen to him every day. And I had got into, and at the time, Herbalife was a thing.
Okay. Yeah. Multi-level. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was like, let me dabble in this. I like fitness and I like people and I've been in sales my adult life.
Sure.
So let's do that. And so I had did that for a little while and I had hit a roadblock later and ended up giving up the whole notion of going, full on force with that. But yeah, so the personal development, I think, is what had me thinking bigger.
Yeah.
And I realized the environment I was in the multifamily, it was really toxic. And I couldn't choose the people I wanted to be around. It was like, this is where you work. These are the people you're with. Like, get used to it. And I remember I would cry leaving home. Like I would tell Tom, like, I hate this job. I don't want to see these people. I would just cry. Like it was terrible. And so that's when I was like, I'm just going to go all in on me. But I think that's because of all the inner work I had been doing up to that point.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And it naturally felt like the next level for me. I'm like, if I'm doing this in apartments,
Yeah.
I'd do this for houses.
I can't disagree with that. So let me ask you then, when you did plunge into this new pond, so to speak, and then figured out, oh, wow, it's not a pond, it's an ocean. And holy cow, we've got rough currents.
I felt like a shark in the multifamily.
Yeah, tell me about
and then
that.
I felt like a tadpole when I came into residential. And I always knew I wanted to start at Keller Williams. Like I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I got myself there and I went through the training and quickly realized that, well, this is a lot harder than I guess I didn't really have an expectation.
Sure.
But, now I got to go find people to help. They're not coming to me like they were in the apartments. And I think I helped about 6 people rent a house that year. And I thought I was going to be the rental realtor forever. I was like,
and you had already known how that works. You were just pushing them over and getting paid a little bit more than you used to, maybe not.
Rentals are
not much. Now, at that time, did you go into those rentals with the hopes that you would convert them eventually to a buyer? 100%. Because a lot of folks don't even think about that concept. And it's like, whoa, you're building your pipeline. I mean, unless you intended to be in this temporarily, they're still going to need a home 1, 2, 3 years later down the road.
That's what I learned a lot from multifamily is the follow-up. I was a beast with follow-up because that's all I did. I worked in a CRM every single day. You clock in, you call your people, you make it happen.
Right. Sales.
So I was like, okay, well, let's do this in this business. And then so with the rentals, you know, I had turned a few of them into buyers later down the road, you know, years later, not instantly. But yeah, it was tough. I had good people around me at Keller Williams, so they would remind me that this is going to turn into something later if you stay, you know, in relations with them.
So who were some of your coaches over at Keller Williams at that time? Because you guys had to go through what, bold training? You had to go through, right?
Yeah, I had to go through bold. Steve Collins was one of my coaches.
The man.
Yeah.
Love that dude.
I know. He's a good dude. And everyone was great. Sheba Ramos was one of my mentors. Steve Galvan.
Okay.
Moses Thatcher, we were in high school together.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So it was so funny when I ended up there because I was like, hey, we're here together.
Yeah. Moses and I go back. That's cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
I ended up picking up showing agent gigs early on. People saw potential in me and they thought it was great and they offered me opportunities and I went with it and I learned so much. Anywhere I could get an opportunity, you want me to go put your open house signs out?
Right.
What do you want to do? Like I was busy. I was touring new model homes. I'm like, how do I just get into the business and just learn it? So I'm very ambitious in that way. But I think just because I've personality.
Well, you do. And we figured that out the first time I met you. It was like, okay, she knows who she is and she knows what she wants. But at that time, when you first got in, you mentioned that you were doing a lot of things. And for those of you out there, you don't get paid to do any of those things that she was talking about. We talk about it quite often. A lot of the newer agents that got in after 2020, 2021, when it was rain everywhere.
So easy.
And we talk about going back to the basics. We talk about there is no shadowing anymore of, hey, I just want to know what the heck I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to follow you around or I'll be your gopher. I'll do the free work so that I can get the valuable lessons, if that makes sense.
100%.
What inspired you to do that? What enabled you to do that? What was it?
I think it just goes back to one of Jim Rohn's quotes is work harder on yourself than you do your job and you can earn a fortune, not just a living.
Yeah.
And that was just part of my values, you know. It was like, how do I just get busy? And when I had saw that, it was kind of a trickle effect. You know, I started doing showing agent gigs for one agent and then another one would ask me and it kind of just started to become in a flow. And I'm like, oh, if I'm busy and in the energy and it just all kind of starts happening. But I was like, but when am I going to get a sale? Like, why am I doing only rentals? All of my SOI was people from high school and everyone had not so great credit.
Makes sense.
Nobody could buy a house yet. And so everyone was like, help me rent. And I'm like, geez, I need to meet more people.
Yeah.
I need to expand my SOI. But I was still figuring that out. And then the pandemic happened. I was a solo agent at the time. And I had realized quickly with Keller Williams that, I mean, I was a starving agent. They were taking all my money.
Yeah, I get it.
You know?
I do get it.
So I was like, where else can I go? And EXP was like the new trendy thing. It was innovative and I had heard good things about it. One of my other mentors at the time, he had left to EXP and he became like a YouTube star.
Okay.
He had grown his YouTube and he had called me one day and he was like, do you want to, change
Greg?
brokerages? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was like, do you want to change brokerages? Come to EXP and then be on my team. And I had vowed that I was never going to be on a team because I felt like it was going to put me back where I was in multifamily.
I can see that.
Under someone.
Sure.
But then I was trying to be realistic and I was looking at my pipeline. I was looking at his pipeline and like, this makes sense.
Sure. I'll take those crumbs. Let's go. That is a defining moment because many would allow their pride to get in the way of not only making money by doing that, but also learning more because you can only learn so much about doing a transaction without doing a transaction. You get what I mean?
Even today, they're different. Every
Yes,
transaction is different. I'm learning something new all the time. I've been doing this, now? It's my 8th year of real estate.
Yes. Matter of fact, I just had a very veteran agent text me about a deal and say, hey, do we need a survey on this property? We haven't ordered one yet. And I said, oh, we need a survey. She said, well, the other lender I used doesn't need one. And I went, maybe they didn't tell you because every finance transaction needs a survey and the reasons for that are ...
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, yeah, we'll get the title company to order it. But it was like mind blowing to this agent. Now, she's not in San Antonio, but it's just like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Do we need a survey?
I know.
Your job's to protect your customer. Don't you want a survey for your customer?
Where are the boundaries in
That's
life?
what I wanted to say, but we don't know each other that well yet. So I was like, let me be kind.
Yeah, you're good at that.
Chat GPT, please bring this down a notch.
This is what I really want to say. Make it sound nicer.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So let's talk about your journey as a person, what you've gone through as far as shaping this tenacious consistency. And then we'll get back to real estate, but I want kind of sandwich this in on this discussion because I think folks need to know more about you and how you've kind of, I don't know, crafted yourself into this beast.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Oh gosh. I mean, like I had mentioned, it's been a lot of just trial and error, right? Like just trying to figure it out. I truly can't say where this, like, it just wasn't taught to me to try to get better or go after whatever it is. You know, I think having stepped into personal development, that was the big eye opener for me. But I also have a very addictive personality.
Yeah,
so when
same.
I like something, I like something. And that also can shoot me in the foot.
It's very true.
So I went through a lot of my own, issues of my own vices and, self-doubt, but then always seeing the bright side. And then there was a point when I was on the team for about 3 years. We killed it, dude. I had done so much business. And then I realized, well, I'm not growing my own business. I'm growing his business. And things were kind of slowing down. And I decided, okay, I'm going to take a chance on myself again and do it on my own. And that was a hard year for me. It was 2023. I had left the team. I didn't realize that I had, kind of silly, but I knew I had signed paperwork joining the team, but it was a non-compete for 2 years.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I hadn't been generating my own clients because I was being fed all the time and I was all in on the team.
So let me ask you this. How deep was that non-compete? Was it everything associated with, I've got my first closing from this team, but now they're sending me a referral? Do I now have to kick that back over to the team? And if so, do I still at least get a cut?
It wasn't specific on that for sure.
Because I had chopped that thing up.
Dude, so many people were telling me forget the non-compete.
No, you can't forget the non-compete. Nope. All it takes is one and you're like, wow, I have to pay what?
Right. I was like, I'm not going to put the energy into trying to fight this thing. Clearly I signed it. It's a learning experience for me. It is what it is. I did have some clients that wanted to come back and work with me. And unfortunately I couldn't at the time. And so it was tough. It took a big mental toll on me because at one point I was happy that I had taken a chance to step out of the team, but then I was looking ahead, not really knowing where I was going and how I was going to build back up and what we were going to do. Tom had been, my husband had been in real estate with me for 2 years on the team.
Really?
As my showing agent because we were so busy. So he left his full-time job.
Awesome.
Yeah. But then when I decided I was going to quit the team, he was like, let me go back to work so you can rebrand and rebuild. And we need to float the boat a little bit.
And you said he was an accountant?
Yeah.
So you were accounting on him to show your people? Come on.
I know. Yeah. And he was good at it.
That's awesome.
He's good at it. That's the goal too, is for him to get back into real estate. We can talk about that. But basically, yeah. So, once I had left the team, I had a downfall. I had been drinking too much alcohol. I was working hard, but I was partying just as hard.
Sure.
And finally, just at the end of the year, I was looking at myself and everything we had done that year. And I knew if I didn't make a big lifestyle change, I wasn't going to create the business that I wanted to create. I wasn't going to attract the clients I wanted to attract. And all my values were skewed and they weren't aligning anymore. And I was really disappointed in myself and scared, honestly, for my health and just mentally. I'd never been so foggy before. And so I decided I was going to give up alcohol. And that was the one thing, right? Because that's the book.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you can do?
That's right.
I was like, well, let's start there. And it didn't fix anything overnight at all, but it changed the direction.
Yes.
And I was committed. And long story short, 2 years later, here we are, alcohol free.
Boom. Congrats.
Yeah. I lost all the weight, healthiest I've ever been. And now my business is finally thriving. It's taken that long though, and saying that I'm going into my 8th year of real estate.
Yeah.
You would think, oh, she has it all together and she probably has like this big old like business. And it's just like, for me, it didn't look like that. It was a lot of this.
Well, I can tell you, having been in this business quite a while, 14 years, I come across a lot of realtors that say, I've been in real estate for 20 years. I've been in real estate and that I have witnessed more times than I can even count of the experienced agents that don't know much.
Oh,
why? Because they're either not practicing their craft. They're not a student to the game. They haven't sold a ton of transactions. They just had their license. Maybe they didn't have good mentorship. They didn't have the right drive. Maybe it wasn't the right industry. Many different reasons, but there's a difference between that and who you've become, truly. And it has something to do with that inner fire of wanting more. It's got to be.
Yeah. I really want to prove to myself that I can do this without someone just handing me, clearly I still had to convert and close and earn the client's trust.
Right.
And the only thing I was really missing was just procuring the client. So that's why I had said, you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he can do it, you can do it, girl.
Yes.
But I had literally just, I said that out loud, and then going through it was hard.
Yeah.
And bills weren't getting paid because we just didn't have the same amount of money anymore. And I think that's a lot that people don't talk about. Like it looks sexy online, the videos and everything. And it looks like we're doing all the things, but really like behind closed doors, no one knows that, we were struggling and bills weren't getting paid and we were behind on everything. And even to be honest, like to this day, we're finally just getting caught up on things that, had been, had to take a back seat just so we can make sure that there's food on the table and a roof over our head, and
of course,
and still push through, dude. And like, especially with having given up a vice, people, whatever it is you choose, your vice of choice. Right. And I had to face myself every single day.
Yeah. And
push through. But my why was because I want to create this identity.
Mm-hmm.
I want to step into this person that I've made up in my mind. Like, why can't, I be the one to create this generational wealth for my family? Like, why not me? And the truth is, it can be you.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where we're at now. And I'm still figuring it out. There's still days where I doubt, or things are so good. This has been my biggest thing.
Okay.
Things have been so good that I'm waiting for it to crash.
Yeah. There's a word for that, or a descriptor for that, which is you're kind of tiptoeing through this because you've gone so far up the hill that it's like something is destined to fall apart. Like, right?
Yeah.
Right? I get it. And I've been in that situation many times, where everything is just going so good.
Yeah.
I'm right where I'm supposed to be,
right,
is how I articulate it.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, it's like, no, we're still moving.
Yeah.
And it has, I don't know the exact answer to this, but my explanation of it is you're right where you're supposed to be. I know you're a follower of faith, Christ. It's not supposed to be easy. We're not supposed to just skip through this, especially if our goal is to tackle the world. And that's kind of what you've set out to do in your scopes. Is when I wake up in the morning, I'm that person right there is going to succeed. Mm-hmm. I can see it through your posts. I can see it when I talk to you on deals. I can see it when I talk to you on deals with the customer. It's very rare. It is. So that being said, why is that such a big pillar? The idea of helping people purchase a home and getting through navigating the higher rates, navigating the chatter, the headlines, the market's going to crash. All I have to do it too. You know what I mean? But I want to see what your take on this is. What are you doing these days?
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest thing is being honest and transparent with my clients and just telling them, I don't create the market, we navigate, and giving them just real life scenarios, because everyone's always waiting for the rates to drop or the prices to drop. And then it's like, where does that get you? Now you're overpaying because now everyone's out doing the same thing. It's, what hand are you dealt right now and what can we make out of it? And having a partner such as yourself to be able to lay it out for them to see the opportunities there,
right.
It helps so much. And I think people appreciate that I care. I think they can feel that. I had a buyer consult not too long ago with a couple, and they were just so nervous. So like, we don't know where to start. We don't know what is earnest money? What does anything mean? And that's, for, of course, like first time home buyers. But by the end of the conversation, they were like, we feel so good. Like you explained everything in bite size, but you didn't tell us too much either.
Right.
Because I would tell people like, well, we'll cross kind of that bridge when we get there, but here's like the where we need to start.
Yeah.
And I just truly care about people. I feel like there's a lot of agents out there that are only doing it for the transaction and then they never check on their people ever again. And I never want to be that person. I want to set the difference because that's what I would want for myself. And I helped I helped us buy a house. So I didn't have an agent, to kind of see, are they,
what's this supposed to look like?
Right.
Yep.
Right. But having worked with other agents on the other end, I'm like, geez, it's tough.
Right.
And you got to navigate that too. And people don't see that either.
It's true.
Because we get a bad rap, us agents. Yeah. And I think people can feel the difference, especially if they've interviewed with other agents too. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it means a lot to me because I feel like when you come from a place of value and just caring about the person, now life really starts to get fun and there's more opportunities. If I was thinking of it just from a numbers perspective, I don't feel like my business would be where it is right now.
No, I have to agree. Matter of fact, the other day, we had a company call and a gentleman was telling all the loan officers throughout the company what he does different. And for me, it was nothing new because I absolutely agreed with what he's talking about. Matter of fact, while he was talking, I built a website, threw it in the chat and said, hey guys, here's what he was talking about. And it's called the high trust conversation, the high trust interview. It was kind of canned by Todd Duncan. And it is the idea of your first or second, whichever one it is, interview or meeting with that customer needs to be a pretty good long period of time, not just a quick phone call. You need to be asking them questions. And when they answer, you need to be listening because they're literally telling you what their goals are, what their pain points are, what they have been through, what they are looking for, all of those things. But unfortunately, there are not enough folks out there that are doing this job that take the time to want to understand where they're coming from and meet them where they're at, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. And it's wild to me. I don't know how they're able to even get through when you can't meet people where they're at, especially because it can be so emotional for people. And to be able to navigate that, you kind of have to know where those pain points are and remind them of what they're looking forward to kind of get their eye on the goal. One of the common reviews that I get from past clients is that I make them feel comfortable. And when they're freaking out, I'm the
chill, keep it calm. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is really cool. And then, and that I just have like good energy. And
You've got great energy.
I think people like that.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, the folks that are watching this right now, guarantee you they can already feel the energy that's coming through from you. Yeah. It's just good vibes. It really is. So our next segment here, let's see here, turn empathy into, let's see here. So you lead with patience. We know that. So how do you keep someone calm when the rates are going up and the excitement of buying a home is there, but they're also getting the chatter from their friends and all the people who have done it or haven't done it that want to give their 2 cents, because that's a lot of what's going on right now.
Oh, I know.
It is.
It really is. I mean, again, I think it goes back to just having the right people in place to help show what's real, right? So having you on like the lending side, being able to lay out those numbers and show them where it's at, and you being so on top of it too, because you have to know when to lock that rate, right? Yeah. You kind of have to predict it before it happens. Like I think rates just dropped and then they went right back up again.
Literally, yes. And I think in addition to that, what you're saying is, I don't try and play this guy that knows what rates are going to do. I'm straight up with them and, hey, this is what the rate is right now. You call me back in 5 minutes. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm more than happy and willing to literally share my screen and show you what I see and educate you on what it means. I do love that you do that. You know, not everyone does that. A lot of people are visual. Yes. They have to see it. I am visual. Absolutely. So yeah, you're telling me something. I don't get it. Right. Right. Concept. 100%. And I think too, talking from experience, because I mean, we know what happens when, you know, the rates drop or inventory is low. Right. And so just being able to tell them, hey, maybe you think that waiting is the better option, but this is what it's really going to look like. And just depending on the person, I think it's really important to mirror and match, and people receive the same information different, you know? So you have to know, how are they going to understand it? So it's really important to be in tune with people, because I mean, you can't talk to a person with a D personality that you know, with like an I, and I always have to tone it back. but the EQ, the emotional intelligence that you have to be even able to articulate that concept right there. Many people have no idea what that even means. To be able to, I've extracted enough out of this customer, their emotion, how they behave, the kind of questions they ask, the kind of responses, and how they give them to me, that I need to tone myself down a little bit, or I'm going to scare them away. In many cases, I have to do the same thing. It's like, whoop, nope, I can't send them that funny picture or that GIF, but these people I can't, you know? Now, would you say that that's inherent, or it's something from life experience? Where does that come from? Gosh, you know, right? Because I can't say that someone taught me how to do that. I guarantee no one taught you how to do that. I think it's honestly just from having been in sales since I was like, 20 years old. Okay. You know, but I think the love and like empathy I have for people stems so much deeper. I don't know if because I craved that as as a child, because I saw like the hurt and stuff we went through. So maybe I just felt like I wanted to give that out. It's really interesting when you start going back and trying to unlock all your childhood trauma. Yeah. And just trying to see how it all lines up. But even when I was a lifeguard, I mean, I was jumping in, I was saving people. Yeah. You know, I was teaching people how to swim. I got so much like gratitude out of people who came to me, they didn't know how to swim. And then by the end of our 6 weeks, they were freestyling like Michael Phelps, you know, I was awesome. Like, cool. And so now I just get to do that on a different level, but with, people's biggest asset. That's a cool analogy. Yeah. Absolutely. So, they're swimming in capital and equity. I know. That's very cool. Yeah, for real. So I've got another little segment here before we get to our next one, but I want to ask, what would you do type situations? What advice would you give to, let's say, someone that sees inaccurate information online? Because we know that's just rampant right now. Oh, I know. Well, first, it's like, where are you getting your information? Are they even in the state of Texas? Are they in San Antonio? Because San Antonio looks different from Austin, you know? So it's like, where are you getting that info? And then making sure that, like, let's have an actual conversation. And this is where too, as I've grown as an agent, right? It's, if you're not going to book the call and give me your time to really talk about what's going on, then you're not really serious. I love that. Yes. And many can't be honest with themselves, even if they have the idea in their mind that this is, they're not ready, or they're not willing, or they're not able. Yeah. And I always tell everyone, I mean, it's not too soon to see where you're at. Like, everyone gets so scared when it's, hey, we need to see where you're at. You should probably apply with the lender. No one wants to do that. My credit, I don't want it to hit my credit. And it's just, how do you overcome that? Come to me. Loan bot. That's how you overcome it. Just so you know. Okay, go for it.
Plug it.
Had to. Nailed it. No, I'm kidding. But that is truly why you are hitting right on the age-old issue that home buyers have faced for many years. With the limited amount of tools, now there's plenty more, right? But the limited amount of tools and access and transparency that was available before, they'd have to rely on a lender to get their options, period.
Mm-hmm.
Before lenders used to incorporate soft pulls, they'd have to have a hard inquiry on their credit. All of these things led to the hesitation of the unknown, in addition to the no. Nobody wants to hear no, right? You'd rather not hear anything than be told no. Exactly. So I think as we fast forward into today's world, there's more access available. There's plenty more, obviously, but it's not all accurate.
There's almost too much now. People are confused. I
agree.
I mean, the estimates,
Yep.
I mean, even the calculators,
Mhm.
they're confused when I show them my estimate versus what they see on Zillow. I'm like, well, are they accounting for like taxes? Or are they just showing you what your principal and interest is going to be?
Good point.
And with this estimate too, have they walked your house? Have they seen the upgrades? It's just, that's where I feel like it's easier to overcome that conversation because I can just paint it out for them on like, what makes me different from Zillow?
Well, what I've noticed in just this short amount of time is your inherent ability to dissect an objection. And what I mean by that is most people tend to want to turn around and overcome it right now with some kind of answer that's going to shut them up or answer their question. And in fact, the real answer more times than not is to ask more questions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you've done.
Yeah, go deeper.
Like, I don't know if you've noticed that or not, but every time I've asked you something, it comes back with another question. And I'm like, she's right. It's true.
No, I didn't notice I was doing that, but I do like to go levels deeper. And I think too, because I do that with myself.
Okay.
And I think that's what helps me do that and translate that into my clients. That was a big reason for my turnaround point too, is that I'm not going to show up for people the way I don't show up for me.
Mm.
And if I can stay committed and keep the promises to myself, then I can do that for my clients. And that's where I feel like my business is going to really thrive. It's because I take care of me first. I prioritize my family and I, translate that into how I treat my clients too.
Yeah.
So I think that makes a big difference.
Well, it shows. I mean, so I'm going to take a break from that because I want to ask, you mentioned consistency. I can see it on a day-to-day. I'm one that is big on consistency.
I see yours too.
Habit stacking type concept. It doesn't have to be massive, just a little bit every day and then add something else every day.
Right.
Or every week or whatever it is, you've got to have a frequency. Or if not, you're just Mr. Random Ass or whatever, What is it that, okay, so first off, tell me some things that you're pretty consistent on. Just in your daily life, not even having to do with real estate if you don't want.
Yeah. And consistency. I mean, I've been running a mile a day until I messed up my foot recently. But I work out, 5 days a week. Movement's important to me. It always has been. And that's why in 2023, when I wasn't doing that, I'm like, girl, you're not doing what you value. I'm, consistent with following up with my clients. I'm checking in all the time. I make sure that I'm at my desk, doing follow-up, even if it's just for like 30 minutes a day, because that's maybe all I have. But I'm trying to teach myself to just work that business muscle, right?
Right.
And that's where it had started for me too, with my fitness and health. It's like, if you can master this, then you can translate that into everything else. Like the whole notion of how you do one thing's how you do everything.
Yes.
Which I don't...
We're team whole ass over here.
Yeah. So that has been such a good thing for me because now I'm building like that mental muscle, which was like my whole goal all along, is because I knew that was what it was going to take for my business to thrive. And what's I've always found interesting is there's people I know that they're great at business. Like they can make money. They will wake up and they'll do the emails, they'll do the phone calls, but they won't spend any time working on themselves. And I never could understand that, because when I was doing all of that in 2023, I was putting on events left and right, just trying to meet new people. I was working my butt off, but I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't able to sustain that momentum.
Yeah.
So I guess just it's different for everybody. But for me, I knew that I had to take care of me before I could take care of everybody else.
Yeah.
And so I had taken a step back to really focus in on this has to be the priority. And now you can start pouring into people.
Another thing that I've noticed just in this short time, and I don't know who taught it to you or if it was inherent, but you do a lot of self-talks.
Yeah.
I do too. I get it. Matter of fact, I was just talking to my son by 3 days ago. We were leaving baseball practice. And I said, hey, how often do you talk to yourself? And like, as you're walking up to the plate, are you talking to yourself? Or you told him it's okay to do that. Even if they hear you, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what? If you're up there in the batting box and you're telling yourself whatever, and he turned to me and he said, we talked about this a while back, Dad. And today, since you're asking, when I was in the batter's box, I think to myself, it's good, it's good, it's good. It's not. When I realized that it's not a strike, I went, okay, so you're getting it. You're getting it. And you're not afraid to level, bring it back here so that you, number one, can motivate yourself, get yourself back on track, stay focused, bring that anxiety down, all of the things that come along with the value of self-talks. What do they call them? Affirmations.
Affirmations. Some people get real wild about them too.
I'm not that crazy.
Me either.
But
like, do I need to be? Will I get where I want to get faster?
Will I level up faster?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Maybe I should try it.
Affirmation,
weird,
buddy.
Yeah, I know, right? Did you do yours today? Sending each other videos in the mirror.
That's awesome. That is awesome. But where did you get that from? Or is that just something that you did because you kind of started off jumping into this world alone? Your brother had left, gone through that kind of high school-ish phase on your own, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
Is that where, what was that? And how much does it actually help you?
I mean, I think, geez, over here making me go to my
I'm sorry.
my childhood
Not
stuff.
sorry.
I think I'm terrified to not live up to my potential. I'm so scared to like look back and just see that I didn't go all in on everything that I wanted to do because of what? Because you were scared or because you were worried about what people thought. I don't want that. I'm scared. I'm scared to get old and be broken. That's why I was like, you need to get back into your fitness and be strong, not because you just want to fit into pants and look good. No, for longevity, for strength. I want to be able to retire and travel and see the world and not have to, be limping around.
Yeah.
I think that's what motivates me, which is kind of weird, right?
Not at all. I don't. Not at all in the slightest. I mean, I'm sitting here listening to you, asking myself the same question, going, what is it that does it for you? And I'm like, wow, I'm kind of the same. I'm absolutely terrified of getting to the end and going, damn, I sure could have, but I didn't.
Right.
So why give yourself an out?
Yeah.
Just do it.
Right. Like just get rid of the things that are in your way and stop being a PUSSY. I don't know if I can curse on here.
Absolutely, you can. As long as you use it the right way. Nailed it.
And get over yourself and share your gift.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the thing is that everyone has a gift and there's just so many people in this world and there's people for you and there's some that aren't. And we live in a world of social media, which is just crazy. I can't imagine growing up in this time. Like the most I had growing up was MySpace. And even that was like top 10. I'm not on it. My life's over. Like it was just. So,
I remember
changing that profile all the time, the music.
That's epic.
I know. It was so fun. But yeah, so now being in a world of social media and having to adapt or die, so to speak, right? Like you better show up on camera and start doing your own videos because you're going to be in someone else's video if you like it or not. It's just the world that we're in now. And that can be hard, to compare yourself to everyone. I had to be very intentional about like my social media and not just doom scroll and see what everyone else is doing.
Yep.
And really just focus on my value and what I can give. And I think being relatable has helped me so much. Like, not like you said, just being a walking billboard of real estate, like actually just sharing real life stuff. I've gotten referrals from that where people are like, we saw your weight loss journey and it's amazing. And oh, by the way, my friend needs a realtor. I told her you're the best. You know, I'm like,
well, okay. So let's tie that together, because the weight loss journey that you went on, that can't nobody in the world tell me that it was easy in any way. Okay.
Not when you do it the old fashioned way. And
yeah, stop eating, work out.
Yeah.
Weird. Anywho, sorry, but not sorry. So the idea behind how often do you share that with them?
Like
just when it is appropriate.
Yeah, kind of like, yeah, I just, when I feel like I have something to say.
Yeah.
Just say
because on
it.
social media, you're about it, you know?
Yeah.
And I believe that from, let's say, an onlooker, a potential customer's viewpoint, POV, like the kids are saying.
Yeah, I know. I'm still trying to figure out how to put that in my videos. I'm like, wait, does this make sense?
Right. So they are seeing someone that started something and finished. A lot of times, our elders would tell us when we were younger, well, one thing, you go to college, people know that you can finish something. Blah, right? I didn't finish college.
Same, dude.
Doing all right. Right. But people see that as you set out to do something, you did it, and you're maintaining and getting better. I'm pretty sure she can do this for us if she takes that type of effort, that type of energy, that type of focus and puts it into this. And you tell me.
100%. That's been the whole rebranding for me.
Okay.
Yeah. And it has translated so well into my business. And now I feel like I'm in the flow.
Yeah.
I just have to stop myself from getting in my own way with having self-doubt and always looking for the saber-toothed tiger, so to speak. You know, it's just like, just keep doing what you're doing. Just show up consistent for yourself, give a shit about people, and it'll all work out.
So there's a lot of folks that are probably listening right about now and wondering, well, what do you mean weight loss journey? What talk about that?
Well,
I'm pulling it out. Let's go.
I know, right? Well, in 2023, I had mentioned that I had been just drinking way too much, working way too hard, and not really seeing anything for it. And I'm a little human. I'm like 5 foot.
The feet don't touch the ground, y'all. They don't touch the ground.
And by the time the end of the year happened, and I was telling you, I was feeling like I was scared. I was having chest pain. I'm like, I don't want to end up in a hospital and them telling me what I already know I need to give up and what I need to do. And how did I even get here?
Right.
Like, how did I get here? This has never been a part of my identity ever. And when I made that shift, it took, I don't think I started seeing any weight fall off until September, and I had started that journey in January. I mean, like a long time. And just, I was having to focus on, do you feel good though? And just going with that, like the physical will happen, but just go with, how do you feel? How are you operating? How's your energy? Like, is it translating into your business now that you just feel better? And just trust that what you're doing is going to work.
Right.
Just having faith in the process, the action. And finally, it started working. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to fit back into these pants. And now I feel a little more confident. Now I can start showing back up on video again, because in 2023, I didn't want to be on camera. I was just so embarrassed of myself. Like, not what people thought, but just me. Like I wanted to give her a hug. Like, you were just damaged for a little bit. Like, what happened? And I think that's okay though, as long as you overcome and now have a plan to move forward. And I'm proud of me, dude.
Hey, that's something to be proud of.
And having given up the alcohol and not giving myself a pass like, oh, okay, you've done it for 2 years. You deserve a drink, girl. No, I don't. It doesn't serve me. It just gets in my way. It's a distraction. Why do I want my body to prioritize getting rid of this toxin when I need him to be turning this into muscle?
Boom.
Awesome.
No, you're right.
What are we doing here?
Yes.
And so that just, that's kind of what that journey looked like for me with having lost the weight, I mean, I was on a calorie deficit all year. I wasn't starved.
Sure.
I was doing things the right way, but yeah, you get a little bit of pain,
Of course.
to get to where you had to go. And I wanted to show up for my son. I wanted my son to see it. And then I remember one of my girlfriends had invited me to a 5K and I was no intention of running it. I'm like, I'm not a runner, dude. We got there and the energy was infectious. I was like, what is happening? I'm like, what is this? I got
running?
Like, what's happening?
That's awesome.
You know that movie, White Chicks?
Oh, yeah.
And he's at the club. He's like, I got to hit this.
That's awesome.
That's how I felt for the run. And so I told my friend, I said, I'm going to run it. She's like, you're going to let me walk by myself? I'm like, yeah, sorry. Like, I'm going. And so like I ran the 5K. I had to stop and walk a little bit. But then by the time I got done, I was like, this is awesome. This is what I want. This is what I want to do. So I started building my way up to that. And I'm not a natural runner. My knees don't like it at all. And I had to, again, swallow like my ego and pride and meet my body where it was at. And so that's where I came up with, I'm going to run a mile a day for a whole year. And I started that this past year in January, but I only got to that part.
Right.
Having done, well, first it was giving up the alcohol. First it was losing the weight. And now it's, okay, what's the next step? Like you just keep building and building and building the better and better that you get. And I feel like
the next version of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the business. Like right now, Tom and I are talking about, we want to rent our first house out, start our portfolio.
Love it.
And buy another house and start that journey.
Totally possible.
Building wealth. And it's scary.
And then the cool part after that, and I will echo, it is scary until you actually do it. And then you go, wow, maybe it was hard. Maybe it was tough, but you still say, wow. Yeah. And eventually it's kind of addictive personality. You're going to go, okay, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was. Move that around. We've got two now type concept.
Dude.
Couple things from what you mentioned. So the White Chicks comment, didn't they slip him something?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, they did. That was my whole life.
Yeah, I remember. Very good memory. And then the other thing is the idea of a fitness journey is very similar to the journey of a new agent getting into the business because you've got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. And that agent's going, when am I going to get the results? You were that new agent. I remember, Yeah. And then finally you start seeing some results. You start seeing more results. So you get even more addicted.
Yeah. Yeah. It starts kind of fueling itself now at that point. People have to get past that little trust.
Yeah.
And then you see it. And now it's like, oh, now I know how this works. Now I can just kind of like rinse and repeat.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
where are we at on time? I love it. Okay. So now let's skip to, man, we covered quite a bit.
Oh, good.
It's time for rapid fire. Right now I'm going to do in the editing. Pew, 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 pew. So I started doing this segment and it became pretty fun. This is intended for just quick responses, no explanation. You don't have to explain to nobody. I'm just going to hit you with a bunch of questions. You give me an answer. Bang, bang, bang. Okay.
Okay.
So question number 1, one word buyers should stop saying.
I'm waiting for rates to drop.
Ooh. One habit that changed your life.
That changed my life.
You're like, I can only pick one.
Could it be the habit I gave up? Giving up alcohol?
There you go. That is a habit. If you're still doing it.
Not anymore.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or not doing it.
Yeah.
What is the best purchase under $100?
Jeez, can't even go to Costco for under $100.
Touche.
Best purchase under $100. Dude, I don't know. Why are things so expensive now?
Good. Fill my tank up. No, I don't know. There's no wrong answers here.
Perry's pork chop on a Friday.
Boom. Okay. And you can get a little extra something.
Oh, it's Friday.
Yes, Friday. I love it. I'm not at Lock and Terra anymore. That is the only downfall. Everything else, I'm so glad we're not at Lock and Terra. Parking was a mess. People trying to find it. Same here. Okay. So a belief that you've had for at least 5 years, that you'd roast today, that you'd just say, what the hell?
That how could you think that?
Like, correct. Yes. Like, what the hell are you thinking?
Oh, geez. That's a good one. These are rapid.
They make good clips.
Yeah. That I'm invincible.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay. Very good. Hardest part about real estate that no one talks about?
I mean, actually, what goes behind the scenes, and when you're building up, what are you willing to sacrifice? I literally worked at Alamo Beer, being a beer tender for a whole year when I got my real estate license. I was like, what can I do to float, like maybe the groceries at least help a little bit while I'm a struggling realtor out here. So I was selling real estate during the day and I was beer tending at night.
Slanging drinks. I love it. Okay. Most underrated skill in this business?
Oh, communication.
Well, not perfect, but I mean, pretty good. What is your go-to song to pump you up?
Gosh, there's so many. Just depends on the season. Right now, I like Whatever It Takes from Imagine Dragons.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
What is your morning non-negotiable?
Morning non-negotiable is brushing my teeth.
Good one to have. A social media trend that you refuse to do.
I'm not going to twerk it for real estate.
Bravo, man. One thing that you want your future self to thank you for.
For having the courage to give up the things that I thought were okay to have, I'm proud of me for just having the self-awareness, the self-awareness to realize where I'm at and where I want to go and what it takes.
Like that. Two more. Okay. If you could tattoo one sentence on every single buyer's brain, first-time buyer, what would it be?
You're ready to buy when you're ready to buy.
Pretty good. Last one. Finish this. Community is
co-creation.
Okay. Well, is there anything that you would like to let the listeners know in regards to your journey, in regards to something that has helped you currently in the past? Any kind of tips, anything like that you'd like to leave these folks with? Now's your time.
I would say to dream big. Is that what?
Look right at that son of a gun. It's worth it.
Yeah, I would say set a goal, but know that it's who you become in reaching that goal that is the real magic, and to work backwards, to make the goal and actually put a plan of action in that's reasonable, but still pushes you a little bit, and have faith in the process and the action and take it step by step, whether that's in your own personal life and your own fitness goals, or whether that's in your real estate goals. It's not out of reach for you. You might have to pivot and make some changes, but if you want it, you can get it, and you just have to have a plan and the right people around to help you reach those goals. So call me and Mark.
That's awesome. Vanessa, I'm very grateful to have met you. I'm grateful for Dylan, shout out, because he put the event together that I met you at.
I know.
And great things have happened since then.
They really have.
Yeah.
You've been an amazing part of my journey, and I'm glad you're here.
Same here. Thank you for joining me on this, and thank you for being so vulnerable with the folks. I think that there's plenty here for them to grab out and either apply to their daily life or their business practices. So that being said, thank you so much. And guys out there, we're going to continue to do this. Each episode, each guest will continue to share their true journey. Because if they don't and start doing something else, I'll stop the damn show. That's just how we roll here, because we talk about real estate and finance, but I want raw and uncut so that the people know that this is real. There's nobody telling you some smoke and mirror stories of trying to get business. That's not what we're about here. So thank you guys for continuing to like and subscribe. Matter of fact, let's see here. Go ahead and throw that reference up. Let's see if it'll work. Bang. Let me hit refresh on this thing. I don't know if it has refreshed. Boop, 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 boop. We are now at 43,200 subscribers, you guys. That's never thought that would happen, but it has happened, and we're very grateful for it. So that's why we're going to continue to bring you people like we just did today. You can kill that. And that being said, we'll catch you on the next one.
Every day, look at yourself in the mirror and ask, did I get better today? Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better. If you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better will you be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the real question. And it all comes down to taking small steps. You don't have to accomplish everything in one day or even 1 week. Just focus on getting a little better every single day.